Hey, this is Reverend Sean over at the Center Path, and today we're going to go over this one here. We're going over actually section by section of the entire, this is called a Tanka, by the way. This is the Wheel of Samsara, and we've done most of it. Today we're going to go over in through here, this section, which is called the Pretas, or the Hungry Ghosts. I'm going to blow it up for you so you can see what's going on. And we see here, no matter who they are, there's awful lots of suffering going on. Preta means hungry ghost. And a hungry ghost usually is depicted, as you can kind of see here, with a really, really thin neck or a really small mouth and a big stomach because they're craving something. Every time they drink water, it turns to fire. Every time they eat food, it turns to ash. So nothing is satisfied. Now, this can be an allegory, basically, or a metaphor for addiction and substance abuse and being over attached to things that we think are going to make us happy, but inevitably they don't. You know, like relationships and stuff like that. So it's about grasping, clinging, super emotional hunger, for example. Now, this is one of those temporary systems we have, just like everything in this wheel of samsara is completely temporary, which means we can cycle through it as an individual in our own lives and have examples for it, or we can actually see others with it. When I do work as a activities therapist, I run meditation and mindfulness meetings for people in recovery, and one of the things we see is just like it's trying to scratch an itch that you can't get to, and that's having this disease of being addicted, or what other words you would have for it, or it's a real disease, and it's a real sad thing to see, because sometimes it appears for them from the outside that the answer is so basic and it's so obvious in front of us, but there's a craving to fill a void, or to get something in that just can't get in. Okay, so they're never, these are people who are people, these are beings that are never satisfied no matter how much they bring in. And it could be money, it could be relationships, it could be love, it could be drugs, it could be dopamine, right? Everybody's scrolling around trying to get dopamine. That's where we end up kind of being in that land of hungry ghosts. I remember I was taking one of my friends who's a now Rinpoche, actually, and he had a novice monk with him, and we had another monk, I can't remember from where, but I decided to take them around Los Angeles and show them the sights, and we showed them everything. I showed them kind of like the Deva realms, which was Hollywood, and the Walk of Fame, and Rodeo Drive, and the people all have all kinds of money, and everybody's all happy and all this kind of stuff. Then I took them to the greater neighborhood so they could see what was going on there. That's like the human realm, I suppose. And then you could see like areas where it was like more dangerous, the conflict realm, right? The Asuras. And that was areas like, in those days, it was like Compton and Inglewood, and different, the Highland Park area, which was like a lot of gang activity at the time. So we had to, we could be able to see that going on. And you could actually get a sense of those when we were there. Now, I took them to downtown Los Angeles where we went to Skid Row. And in Skid Row, you see, I mean, it looks just like this kind of stuff in through here. We have people that are really suffering. Now, they may not have money for so many reasons, but a lot of times it has to do with drugs and other attachments that they've developed over time, that they can fix, but it's difficult. And the novice monk was freaking out because he had never been to the country before, and he thought that everybody had a TV and lived in a big house. And he's like, "What's wrong with these people? What's going on?" And I remember the Rinpoche at the time, he was a lama at the time, but he was saying like, these are pretas, these are hungry ghosts. Look at them. They can't be satisfied. And even though they're so suffering, if you gave stuff to them, they would only be able to be satisfied for a short time and then fall back into that kind of suffering without external help. And this is where we like our ability in this is to develop our own compassion and our own understanding of our own cravings and the cravings of others, and to be like, respectful of those. I mean, when I see people at the places I work, the hospital, for example, These people are going through detox, but they're going through mental and psychological and spiritual, really, like, problems because of things that have happened with their families or their relationships or them themselves or what have you. And they turn to um, substances that they think can help them. I mean, it may start with chips and ice cream, and it may increase from there to drugs of some kind. So, although drugs many times and ice cream too is a nice treat, and chips are a nice treat, and even some of the drugs are a nice small escape, right? They are those things that make us heedless, so we're trying to get away from those, right? But we want to kind of get ourselves uh, into a mindset where we can observe this stuff in ourselves and in others and not be taken back and recognize it really quickly, right? Our karma, which means actions, right, are things we do result in other karmic actions. There it is, right? And so the idea of the training of this is not to scare you and to say that's only some place in the magical realm that you can't see and you can't go to, but it's actually a real place, and that we can suffer in that way ourselves very drastically, right? And so with meditation and following the Dharma, the Buddhist path, the Eightfold Path, we can actually find a way out of this. But it takes a group. It takes other people. So if you're a recovery group or something like that, good. Keep up with it. And we need to like be consistent in our work with these kind of things and to help people that we want to help. Um, so anyway, I was trying to just get through. It's been a little while since I've done one of these videos. We're at like 659 subscribers or something like that. So if you'd like to subscribe, you can just subscribe down here, or right over there, right there, I think. And then over on that side, you can subscribe or look at the other videos or whatever. Anyway, I'm going through each one of them sequentially. We've done the outer wheel through here. We did the 12 steps of, or not steps, but sections of dependent origination. We did the karmic changes. We did the 3 poisons or 5 poisons, depending on how you look. We've done most of these. We do have to go through the hell realms next. I believe we did the animals already. So I'm just kind of like bouncing around through this entire thing. And remember, this is just a simple overview of the wheel of Samsara. That's what I'm trying to do. So you understand it. So if you have a copy of it, you can actually see this and see how it tells a story. As you look in through here, that this kind of craving is also for those who sit way up high and those who worship. And these down here are trying to like, eat food or whatever. They have death and all these things. They're craving life. But there's also an opportunity here to see the teachings of the Buddha. Anyway, this is Reverend Shadow of the Center Path, and I just wanted to uh, bring that to you. The antidote for this is what's called dana, which is generosity. So give to people, give your time, give your love, give your attention, give your money if you can, give your food, extra food or something like that. You can help people who have this kind of problem. You can help at your local temple or your local center. Try and help them out because it's important. It's hard. That's 8 minutes and something. Take good care. We'll see you soon.